Here's a name I can say from the Eradicator.
Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and in this video we are going to talk about the Anvil Pisces, the C8 Pisces, which has been released straight to Flyable during CitizenCon, actually on the very first day of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which is where I am right now. It is taking place at Area 18 on ArcCorp, and yeah, really decent place here. And yeah, we're going to check out what Aegis, not what was that about, what Anvil Aerospace has to offer us right here. I have most of the lineup here behind me. We've got the Arrow, we've got the Hawk, we've got lots of Hornets, and in the middle there is that little tiny ship that we are going to check out, the Pisces, I always say the Pisces, the C8 Pisces, which is this little snub ship that comes along with a Carrack if you own a Carrack, but it is also a pretty decent ship for other things, and we are going to have a little tour with this ship today. I will be renting a C8 Pisces, and we'll try to define what it is good at and maybe what it is not so good at. So yeah, maybe we can go. At the same time, I'm also checking what people are saying in the chat. Carrack is a home, cargo space, shuttle, rover, and living space. I agree with what Anak is saying here, but at the same time, I also think that the Carrack, there's nothing the Carrack can do that the Caterpillar can do, so I'm going to stick with my Caterpillar, but that's my opinion. Anyway, I am now in the hangar, and you can see that it has an access ramp, which is fantastic. It definitely makes deliveries easy. You can go in and out. It has an interior. It also has 4 SCU of cargo capacity, which is definitely something that is going to be pretty handy if you want to, for example, buy some goods, some kind of goods at some unregistered outpost. It has 2 size 1 guns that you can see in the front, and look at that, it also has 2 size 1 missiles, which is very interesting. They are the size 1 guns. If you have the exploration variant, the C8X, it is going to have 2 more guns. Unfortunately, this version here is not available for rent, so I was not able to try it. Anyway, let's close that door. Pretty similar to, let's say, any other doors, like a Freelancer or a Cutlass. This is the interior, pretty tiny, pretty much the same size. It's a little bit smaller than a Reliant Core. These are 2 seats here for some of your friends. Let's say you want to have a little commando operation. If you want to sneak someone with a little group, that would be perfect, for example. And only 1 seat for the transport, or if you want to transport somebody as well. This is actually a ship that I could totally picture as being an interesting shuttle. Anyway, let's open that door here. People say it's a glorified dinghy. In my opinion, cool design. So it's funny because I had no idea what a dinghy was, but people told me it's like a little rowboat that you would have inside a yacht. I don't know, because with a dinghy you can't do missions with a dinghy. You can transport goods. You can't really have delivery missions, for example. So I think that it is a ship that stands on its own. But let's get started. Let's take off right here, Area 18. I'll wait until the doors are open, and yeah, I think that we are now good to go. It is so tiny. It is actually quite incredible how CIG managed to put all the ship components in such a small space. But anyway, here we go. We are going to target. I think that we can see Lyria from up above. We are going to target here a vector of about 90 degrees. People are saying that it's the Star Trek. It's like a Star Trek shuttle. Oh, come on, not really Star Trek. I don't really agree with that. Anyway, let's have a look at this. We're gonna hit that shift button here, that afterburner, so that we can see how quickly this thing is. And you can see that we are accelerating really, really fast. As you can see, up 700, all the way from 400 until 700 meters per second. And this was a pretty dashing acceleration. I'm actually trying to check out how long it takes to get to the lower orbit, to leave the atmosphere here at ArcCorp. I'm really wondering if we can do this within 2 minutes. And here in this trial, unfortunately, I was only able to do it in 1 minute and 50 seconds because I messed up a little bit. Anyway, I'm trying here the guns. As you can see, it comes with 2 default size 1 laser guns, which don't really have a fantastic rate of fire. The basic version of the Pisces is definitely not a ship I would recommend for combat. Also, it tends to be drifting a little. Make sure that you remove your cruise control when you land, because, well, it is quite fragile, as you can see. Quite unforgiving if you crash your ship. If you lose control of your ship and you crash, you are not going to survive. Unlike with some bigger or stronger ship with stronger shields or stronger hull, the Pisces is definitely going to get destroyed if you lose control of your ship. Anyway, that is done. Let's try again. I am going to leave here the atmosphere of Area 18 one more time, except that this time we are going to do it in real time, and we are going to see exactly how long it takes. This is a very interesting test. As you can see, I'm using the afterburner. I'm also trying to get a trajectory that is going to be as vertical as possible, so that I can leave the planet as quickly as possible. So we're going to have something between 65 and 90 degrees in terms of angle, using the afterburner once again. And as you can see, this is really quick. We are getting to max speed in a few seconds only. Max speed here being 1049 meters per second, and you can see the altimeter here, which is on the right of the virtual horizon. The altimeter is really clocking in really fast. It is really taking really fast. We are already, as you can see, we can see the atmosphere, we can see the sun from the outside. We are already in space within just a few dozen seconds, I would say. Say 50,000 meters, almost 60,000 meters. The atmosphere of area of our Aquarp is only 80 kilometers. So overall, you can see now we are almost at 70,000. We'll be at 80,000 within a matter of seconds. I am checking my watch here on the footage, and I figure out that by leaving the hangar all the way to space, if you really don't commit any mistake, takes 1 minute and 40 seconds only. So to me, this ship is really a fantastic ship if you have some business to do on the surface of a planet, a delivery, for example. That's one of the things. That's why I don't like to do deliveries to some of the outposts of Hurston, for example. There are lots of outposts on Hurston with lots of possible delivery missions. I don't like to do them because it takes a really long time to get there. It takes a long time to leave those outposts to go back to space. With this ship, you can do that within 2 minutes, and I think that this is really quick. It takes at least double the amount of time if you have a cutlass, for example, because this is a ship that is tiny. It is also aerodynamic and also features some really strong engines as well. Some of these engines are really powerful. The accelerations with the Pisces are absolutely stunning, while at the same time they're not as strong as, I would say, the Herald. The Herald is just one engine in the cockpit. This is a little bit more than that, probably because the Pisces, I would say, is also a very light ship, which is why it allows for such acceleration and such performance within such a contained space. Now let's go to Lyria. As you can see, unfortunately, I have a little crime stat problem, which is something I've had since my last gameplay session. So we're going to go to the security depot on Lyria, and we are going to see if this is a fashion. This time I'll try not to crash. As you can see, I did not do the same mistake as before. When you leave Quantum Drive, remove the cruise control, because otherwise you may eventually drift out of control, which is fortunately something that did not happen here. I have once again control of my ship, and I will be going to the security depot Lyria 1. As you can see here, it is also going to take a really quick amount of time. I am accelerating here as quickly as I can, and you're going to see those kilometers being eaten and swallowed very, very quickly, until eventually the turrets of the security depot here are going to start shooting at me. You see, normally if I have a caterpillar here, I would not be flying at 500 meters per second. Anyway, we can see the little lights here blinking on the top of the depot. So we're gonna have a little bit of action here with the Pisces. We are going to see, as you can see, we start to be shot here with by those size 4 turrets here of this security outpost. But the Pisces is a tiny tiny ship, and unfortunately those turrets are trying really hard to try to target this tiny snub ship, but it just can't do it. And I'm not going really fast, I'm going at about 100 meters per second, but due to the size of the ship has a really small hitbox. And if you look at the shield indicator at the top left, you can see that the ship is not being hit. These turrets here are not landing a single hit on the shields of this tiny little ship here, which is absolutely fantastic. This is definitely not something that would have had happened with a Constellation or a Cutlass. So another great reason to buy a Pisces is that it is such a small ship. It is actually too small for those turrets, and those turrets have a really hard time to hit you if you have, for example, a little crime stat problem. You want to go to a bunker discreetly. Absolutely fantastic. So this is my recommendation. If you want to do delivery, especially planet-side delivery, it is a fantastic ship that will take you in and out of a planet within less than 2 minutes. So absolutely recommend. It has enough space to put lots of boxes inside easily, so perfect for deliveries. You can do a little bit of cargo, and it is just a ship that is going to take you from point A to point B within seconds. So for example, if you're also an entrepreneur, until recently lots of entrepreneurs were flying, for example, a Razor or an 85X, because simply it would allow you to go from one outpost to another, so that you can manage the cargo that is being transported by your pilots. With a Pisces, you can also do that and also have an interior as well. So I think that this is, in my opinion, a bonus. So that's my opinion here about the C8 Pisces. Great for as a shuttlecraft, great for deliveries, and very swift if you have to deal with turrets. I hope that you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button if you like this content. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next videos. This is the Eradicator. I am signing out.